I'm Kealani Burgos, and in this video, we'll be discussing some different functions that you can use while participating in or moderating a Zoom meeting on either an iPad or a computer. There are two primary ways you can view the participants on a Zoom call. You can switch your view by clicking on the View button in the top right corner of your screen. There are multiple choices, but the two primary views are Speaker and Gallery View. Speaker view is what we are viewing right now, and the person who is speaking will be shown most prominently on your screen. Gallery view will show you multiple different participants across your screen in equally sized squares. Whoever is speaking will have a green line around their video. That green line will jump from person to person as different people speak. You can switch your view at any point throughout a Zoom call, and you won't impact anyone else's view, just your own. The purpose of spotlighting or pinning a speaker in a Zoom call is to make them the most prominent person on the screen. The difference between the two is who it affects. Pinning a video only impacts your own view, whereas spotlighting changes the view for everyone on the call. This can only be done by the host of the Zoom meeting. Both are done in the same way. If you want to pin or spotlight someone, bring your cursor over their video, either in gallery or speaker view, and look for the blue button with dots on it. When you click on that, you'll see multiple choices appear. If you are the host, you'll see Spotlight for everyone, and if it's just for yourself, you can click on Pin. In either case, it will make that speaker the most prominent on the screen. To remove the pin or the spotlight, click on the button in the top left corner of the screen. It will say either Remove Spotlight or Remove Pin. To blur or change your background on a Zoom call, this is such a cool function. Everyone loves this. You go down in the bottom left corner to the video button. It will either say stop or start video, depending on if your video is on or off at the time. And you want to click on the little arrow, the little upward pointing arrow next to the video button. This will give you multiple choices, and what we want is choose virtual background. Now this will give you a few preloaded options, things like the Golden Gate Bridge or grass, but you can also simply blur your background out. This will keep your current background behind you, but make it a little bit less easy to see if there's any mess back there. You can also add your own picture by clicking the plus button and clicking Add Image. This will allow you to sort through your computer and find a photo that you've taken to add as your background. Let's explore the Participants panel. To access the Participants panel, click on the Participants button at the bottom of your screen. A panel will appear on the right, and this is where you can, if you're the Zoom host, allow people to join your meeting and also see who is involved in your meeting, whether you're a participant or the host. This is where you can rename yourself if you want to. By coming over your name, you can mute yourself or click on More to get to the rename or change your profile picture options. But as the moderator, as the host, you have a few more choices. Along the bottom of the screen, we've got the Invite, Mute All, and More buttons. Invite is where you could choose to send out another invitation if there's someone you forgot to invite to your meeting. Mute All allows you to mute all participants at the same time, and More gives us several other choices. I'll click on that now. At the top, if you've muted everyone, you can send a message to everyone asking them to unmute themselves. It will pop up on their screen, and they can choose to either accept your invitation to unmute or choose to continue to be muted. Further down, you can choose to mute everyone as they join the meeting. This is useful for after a speaker has begun a presentation if you don't want any interruptions as people join the meeting late. There are a few other choices you may or may not need to use, but you're welcome to explore these by yourself. Let's talk about how to use the chat function. This is a great way to interact with other members on a Zoom call without having to interrupt audibly. Now, you access the chat function by clicking on the chat button next to participants along the bottom of your screen. It will look a little bit different for each person depending on if you already have your participants panel open or not. You can see along the top of my screen, I do have the participants panel view open. And so the chat function is smaller along the bottom of my screen. If you want to have the chat function cover the entire right panel, you can click on participants again to make participants go away. To send a message through the chat, you go to the bottom of that messages screen where it says type message here. It's pretty small, and messages will start to appear above this. Right now there are no messages in this group, so it's blank. First things first is you want to make sure you decide if you're sending a message to everyone on the call or just one specific person. You see where it says everyone in blue. If I click on everyone in blue, it gives me a list of other people who are in the meeting, both of which are myself in this case, but you would see everyone's names appear in this list. And if you wanted to send a private message, you could click on someone's name. It will tell you in red next to it that this is a direct message. It can be a little bit confusing because that message will still appear in the list of all of the messages that are sent back and forth between everyone in the group that you can see, but you will know it will say that it is to a person individually directly once you send it. So I'll send a message, I'll type out the word hi. Now this is where a lot of people get stuck. Frustratingly enough, there's no send button. You need to hit the enter or return key on your keyboard to send this message. So enter or return is typically found on the right side of your keyboard, and it's the key that you would hit to get to a new line or a new paragraph if you were typing a message. So now you can see that my message has appeared on the right side at the top of the screen, and you can see that it says Kealani Burgos parentheses direct message. Now I'm going to come back down to the bottom and change this to be a message to everyone in the meeting. Again, I will hit the return key on my keyboard to send it, and you can see it labels that as a message from me to everyone. When using Zoom on the iPad, there are two different ways you can view the participants of your call: active speaker view and gallery view. To bring up either of these or any buttons to control your call, you can tap anywhere on the screen that isn't a button already. So in the video area is usually a safe bet. So I'll just tap where my face is and the buttons will appear. In the top left corner of the screen, I can tap on switch to gallery view. Now if the buttons disappear, you'll need to tap your screen again. I'm going to tap on switch to gallery view. Now you can see multiple different people who are involved in the call on the same page. If there are too many people on the call to fit on one screen, you may need to swipe across your screen to see the next page of participants. To switch back, I'll tap anywhere on the screen again to bring my buttons up, and I can tap switch to active speaker view in the top left corner. That will switch me back to the screen that I'm looking at now, which will display the currently actively speaking person most prominently. Now the photo in the bottom right corner, it will be your own image. Right now I have my video turned off because I'm using multiple devices, so it's just displaying a profile picture. But typically the person that you're conversing with will be in the large format on the screen here, and you will be in the smaller corner of the screen. If you want to make that photo of yourself or the image of yourself go away, you can tap on the blue minus sign in the right corner of your own image. And if you want to find that video again, you tap the blue video icon, which is in the same place that we were just seeing the profile image. If you tap on the blue plus sign, it will show you more video of more participants on the call along the bottom of the screen, in addition to the active speaker. If you want to minimize this again, tap on that, like a square with a little silhouette of a person in it, and it will recollapse that tray of videos along the bottom. The participants panel is where we'll find multiple functions such as how to spotlight a video, amongst other helpful features. Again, to bring up buttons on your screen, tap anywhere on the video to bring up your buttons, and in the top right-hand corner, we'll tap on the participants button. Only the host of the meeting can spotlight someone. To spotlight someone, tap on the name of the person that you want to spotlight, and this will give you several options that you can use to interact with that other person, including spotlighting. You can ask them to unmute, you can turn their video off for them, you can chat with them directly, rename them, and more. What we'll do is tap on Spotlight for everyone. That makes that person the most prominent speaker displayed on everyone's screen. To undo that spotlight, tap once again on their name, and now we can tap on Remove Spotlight. The chat function allows you to communicate directly with other participants in a Zoom call or with everyone all at the same time. To bring up the chat function, tap once on your screen to make your buttons appear, and then tap More in the top right corner of your screen. Then we'll tap on Chat, 3 options down. This brings up the chat window. Now the first thing you want to determine is, are you sending a message to everyone or to some individual directly? At the bottom of this window, it says Send to Everyone. If you want to send a message to everyone, great, you're ready to do it. But if you wanted to change that so that you were sending a message directly, you would tap on Everyone, and then you would receive a list of the participants of the call. You could tap on any name in that list individually, and now it says Send to Kealani Burgos. So this message will only be sent directly to that individual. You can type out your message, and when you're ready to send it, there's a blue paper airplane that you can tap on, and it will send your message. You can see that it's a direct message up at the top where it says hello. In red, above that it says direct message. Now down below where I typed my message in the first place, and it says Kealani Burgos, if I tap on my name, I can change to everyone. I'll tap everyone, and now any message that I send will be sent to the entire group. To close the chat window, there's a button that says Close in the top left corner. To change your background or blur your background on the iPad, tap once on the screen to bring your buttons up, and tap on the More menu in the top right corner. You may need to scroll down a little bit, but you'll see backgrounds and filters listed. I'm going to tap on that. In the window that appears, you can choose either a preloaded background, such as the Golden Gate Bridge or grass, or you can tap on Blur to simply blur out the background behind you. If you want to add one of your own photos, you can tap on the plus button, allow access by hitting OK, and then find a photo that you would like to use as the backdrop of your video.